Mission on deck.
Your instructor is a Top Gun graduate with real-world experience in every mission aspect you will be expected to master. His exploits are legendary, and he's considered to be one of the finest pilots this program has ever produced. What he has to teach you may very well mean the difference between life and death. I give you Captain Pete Mitchell, call sign Maverick.
Good morning.
I want to start this video by putting up a clip. I've had this clip for a long time. I've just held on to it. I never thought I would use it, but I watched it and it was so funny. It was so funny, but in a sad way. In the wake of the North London derby, there is all kinds of story. It's the most humorous kind of pearl clutching that I've ever seen. All of a sudden, you want your team to be competitive. All of a sudden, you want them to go for the jugular. You want them to go for the win. In football, you can't eat your cake and have it. If you get to the point as a fan base where you say it's no longer about winning games and progressing as a team, when you get to that place where you say we are ready to throw points away, we are ready to sabotage ourselves, we're ready to sabotage our players on the field with our murmuring and our nervousness because we are not sure we want you to score. When you get to that place, you lose all claim. You do, really. You lose all claim to whatever expectations you say you have or demand to have. All of it goes out the window because you've perverted your own footballing principles. You're ready to throw away games, not because throwing away that game is going to get you anything, but you're ready to throw away that game so that your crosstown rivals get nothing. Well, guess what? Your Northtown rivals came to town and they picked the same 3 points that you gave up to City last season. So, I tell you the truth. No Diddy. I watched that night's event occur and I said to myself that Spurs fans, they really don't understand what has happened this night, do they? They don't understand that in everything that has played out, and make no mistake, Son threw away the opportunity to equalize because City was ahead 1-0 at that point in time. Son threw away the opportunity to equalize, and with that equalizer, to swing the momentum of the game. So when City won that game, I said Spurs fans don't understand that they have done things this night that people may forget. But football will not forget. The term cutting off your nose to spite your face has been around long before I was born, but honestly, I have never seen a situation where it was more apt and more accurate. Let's play this through first.
The fans have been on their side the whole season. The whole season.
You're an absolute disgrace. Cundy, I don't even know how you can still stay in.
So you see, Jamie's trying to give reasons. But this Liverpool fan is beyond reasons because he's seen. Now, Jamie's trying to use words. But when they were watching the game, words were not needed. He was jumping, he was shouting, he's still got the City jersey on. You don't need to say anything, bro. Your jersey does all the talking for you.
In that studio with him, with that stupid top on, you are the epitome of football, mate. You are the absolute
Dave,
disgrace.
you're a Liverpool fan. If it was Everton about to win the league, yeah, and you'd have to suffer Europa League football for a season, if you beat Manchester City and you hand Everton the title, don't tell me for 1 second that you wouldn't accept a defeat.
Mate, I don't care who wins the league. I dislike Everton, like I dislike Arsenal, like I dislike Chelsea. I rang Cundy up when we won the Carabao Cup, ribbing him.
The spirit of competition. Did you hear what that guy said? Mate, I don't care. The spirit of competition demands that when you play a team, that team is in front of you. You guys are dragging for the 3 points. You've got no business thinking about how your 3 points will affect the next person. And if the other team does go on to win the league, it's just going to be bans. And bans always go round. Bans always goes round. It's a matter of a cycle.
Having a laugh with them, it's banter, it's football, but at the end of the day, you've got to want what's best for your players, for you to succeed, to bring success to your club. How can them players want to be successful at your club after what they've witnessed tonight? They must have been stood there while Edmondson's down. 20,000 fans singing, are you watching Arsenal? Are you having a laugh, lad?
It's terrible, Jay. It's terrible, mate.
No.
It's terrible. You're getting beat. It's terrible. It's disgusting. It goes against every fibre of a football fan's.
If I was Postecoglou, I would hand in my resignation. I'd say, do you know what, Rami? See you later. Yeah. You aren't worth my. All you're going on about is the last 3 weeks, the last 4 weeks. Yeah. Do you think he's.
Oh, we lost Dave.
Do you know what? Only Spurs would do this.
No, disagree.
No. Only Spurs.
No, absolutely disagree.
So, yeah, the night of this game, I was laughing. I was laughing so hard because I knew that I had seen something. And I knew that what I had seen would have ramifications down the line. Big Ange probably had never experienced that kind of defeatist attitude and defeatist mentality before that night against Manchester City. I think that was probably because they had talked about it in the build-up to that game, and he talked about how, yes, he understood that some fan bases, because of their rivalry with other fan bases, he talked about understanding that. But I think Ange coming face to face with that defeatist mentality in the eyes of the fans, I think Ange saw Heung-min Son missed that opportunity and think to himself, this guy just threw away this goal because of this thing that these fans have been going on about. I think he saw all of that night. And I think that ever since that day, how do you coach a team when the fans behind that team have made it clear that they are not interested in winning? That means they can't be your 12th man. That means that depending on the game and depending on the outcome of that game, you cannot look to the fans to give your players energy, to give them. Fine, we all accept that the players are supposed to give that themselves, but if the fans had no part to play, then the 12th man would not be a thing. But the 12th man is not just a myth, it is a thing and it is reality. I have seen fans carry a team over the line when you knew that team was dead on their feet. What they got by way of energy, by way of oxygen, the fans gave it to them by singing, by shouting, by urging them on, by reminding them that glory waits at the end of this road. So I'm not sure Big Ange had ever seen the opposite of that mentality. I don't think he had seen where the 12th man becomes a red card. Till that night. There's nothing much more. I brought this clip up because I wanted us to listen to that Liverpool fan. I think in fairness, we should probably just watch the rest of it. But I remember, I think it was just mainly Condi still going at Jamie O'Hara and Jamie O'Hara trying to justify his and the majority of the Tottenham fan base's behavior that night.
Only Spurs.
Absolutely disagree.
Only Spurs.
This is who Spurs are. This is what you've become. You're a laughing stock.
Exactly.
You haven't won a league title since '61. You haven't won a trophy of note since 1991.
Let me tell you, if Ange Postecoglou was the manager of Celtic and they was up there and Rangers were going to win the title, and they
be careful.
They could stop it right by taking a defeat. All right, they would take a defeat.
Telling me that, and you're telling me
what does that even mean? That they will stop it by taking a defeat? I'm sorry, are we talking about an American sport? Because it's American sports that I know where there are no consequences, where it's just franchise plays. So win, lose, who gives a damn? So I don't understand what Jamie O'Hara means when he says if they could stop it by taking a defeat.
The Scottish fans up in Scotland, if they were Celtic fans, they would not want to see Rangers win it. They'd rather Motherwell win it. And they would quite happily take a defeat.
But even though they can still catch them, because you can still get top four. That's the thing that grates on me.
Yeah.
You can still get top four.
There was a chance. There was a chance to kickstart a one last push for the Champions League. The Champions League that Aston Villa are playing this season. That spot had Tottenham's name on it. But this was the night they gave it up. So when I said at the beginning of the show, when I pointed out the fact that I don't have a Tottenham review and I wasn't going to do one, I wasn't playing. I would only have touched on, in fact, the truth is that that's why I'm touching on Tottenham today. I would only have touched on Tottenham in relation to them playing any other team in the Big Six. But I would certainly have no intention to track the activities of Tottenham outside the Big Six this season. Because there's no point. It's not even a real club. It's just an organization of people who hate a football club because they are ready to throw away their own points of their own team if it will help the enemy of Arsenal. Fair play. I mean, because we're not talking about one person. We're talking about thousands of people. So, fair play. That is a consensus. That is a decision. That's a demograph, right? So, fair play. But if you then think that the next season will start and then Big Ange will come and do what he did when he started last season, I think he ran to about, was it 10 straight wins or what? If you think that's happening this season after what you guys have done last season, come on. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen because the fan base committed a cardinal sin, and it was live, it was on camera. Those are the things that I kept running through my mind last season on the night of this game. Because I was like, these guys don't even understand what they've done. But it's live, it's on live TV. Everybody's recorded it, everybody's aware of it. What pundit is going to take Tottenham serious this season? What pundit is going to, because typically if you're not fighting for the league, you're fighting for the highest place finish, but that highest place finish is linked to Champions League. So when you've already thrown away Champions League, are you going to come back the following season and say we're here to fight for the Champions League? Nah, kid, you're just here to make up the numbers.
You're more concerned how you're perceived and how you're looked upon than actually achieving anything. Yeah. As I said, your biggest victory is a defeat tonight.
Last 4 weeks.
Me everything about
last 4 weeks have been poor for Spurs.
Your biggest victory is a defeat tonight. I didn't even hear this when I watched this last year, but that is so true.
That's what's put us in this position. And tonight, I'll take it on the chin. We've got beat by Manchester City.
You'll take it on the chin.
We're a better team.
What about Postecoglou?
He's got to take it on the chin. He's got to sort his set pieces out.
Fine.
Sort out his team.
Talk about tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
He needed you lot.
Got beat by a better
You got a City show on.
Got beat by a better team.
Disgusting.
Got beat
Singing
by a better
out.
side.
Are you watching Arsenal? When Spurs fans.
Blue moon.
Absolutely. Appalling.
You saw me standing alone.
Do you know what? I don't think you Spurs fans will recover from this. You will never, ever recover from tonight. Never.
Give it a rest.
There's no way any Spurs fan can ever, with any credibility, can phone up this show or phone up TalkSport and spout about how much they want to do this. And you know what? You're frauds.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM.
So yeah, that was Spurs last season, and now Spurs are feeling bad that Ange started this season with. They're feeling bad that Ange started this season with 4 points from 4 games. That's the lens, through which I have looked at what happened to Tottenham in the North London derby. I'm not saying that they lost to Arsenal because of what happened last season, but I'm saying that they've broken Big Ange. They broke Big Ange last season and they didn't realize they did it.